everybody, it's Wednesday. Want to start off this video by reiterating that I am in fact Jewish. So if I seem angry, I'm angry. Remember when Captain America punched Hitler in the face? Apparently, that's changed, even though that's literally the selling point of his first comic. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a world where Bruce Wayne steals money from his parents, gives it to Alfred, and tells Alfred to give it to Joe Chill. That's right, in this world we're imagining that Bruce Wayne is actually the one that killed his parents. Oh, and you didn't know that Bruce, a character created in 1939, was actually the one that gave Joe Chill the incentive to kill his parents until 2016, 77 years after the fact. But that's ridiculous! DC would never do that to their precious Brucey, right? But I guess in this world, somebody had to. Marvel did it to their wonderful Stephen Grant Rogers. On May 25th, 2016, Marvel released Captain America Steve Rogers #1. In this issue, it's revealed that Sarah and Steve Rogers were both recruited by Hydra before Sarah died, and Steve has been a secret Hydra agent all along. If I'm doing my math correctly, that's over 80 years of allegiance to Hydra within the comic book chronology, which is longer than Bucky Barnes. You know, the Winter Soldier who, as an entity, was created by Hydra. I keep asking myself, if Hydra had the abilities to create the Winter Soldier all along, why let Stark take the credit for creating Captain America? I mean, I know that it kind of sort of gets them in to infiltrate S.H.I.E.L.D. before S.H.I.E.L.D. is really founded, but then why bother with the Winter Soldier at all? Now, this storyline is absolute trash to begin with, but there's a whole slew of reasons as to why it just shouldn't exist at all. First of all, Stephen Rogers was created in the 1940s by two Jewish men in direct response to the oppression, subjugation, and mass genocide of European Jewish people. Steve is and has always been a symbol of the American fight against the Nazis. He's not supposed to be one. For over 75 years, Steve Rogers has been a symbol of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. His image has helped thousands, if not millions of people over those 75 years through terrible spots in their lives because of what he stands for. Or, I guess, what he stood for. Second of all, how dare Marvel? Who in their right mind at Marvel decided that World War II and the atrocities that the Nazis inflicted on 11 million innocent people was a joke? Nick Spencer did, but clearly he wasn't in his right mind. Cap is one of the most historically and culturally significant characters in the Marvel Universe, specifically because he was created to destroy the institution which you've now placed him in. Don't give me any Severus Snape shit with Cap. Keep Steve Rogers out of Hydra under any and all circumstances because Marvel has spent the last 75 years building up the fact that he does not belong there. Marvel executive editor Tom Brevoort had these things to say about this issue. There should be a feeling of horror or unsettledness at the idea that somebody like this can secretly be a part of this organization. There are perfectly normal people in the world who you would interact with on a professional level or personal level, and they seem like the salt of the earth, but then it turns out they have some horrible secret. That might be true, but not with Cap. We shouldn't be scared of Captain America. We shouldn't second guess our judgment in putting the Captain America title on Steve Rogers' shoulders. By no means does Steve Rogers have to be perfect, but he cannot be a Nazi. Hopefully our readers are surprised, shocked, elated, see something of themselves, learn something about themselves. To say it's a gimmick implies that it's done heedlessly just to shock. What? You want your readers to see something of themselves in a Nazi sympathizer. And not only that, but the character that was created to literally punch Hitler in the face. I'll tell you from first-hand personal experiences that I'm learning a lot about my trust issues from that. And also, this was done for shock value. Let's not pretend that it wasn't. Let's not pretend that a year of planning suddenly excuses such a plot twist to a character that is so abhorrently against bullies, the Nazi regime, and the torture, internment, and murder of 11 million innocent people. My people. I've talked a lot about Steve and his place in this world, but he's only the tip of the iceberg. I want to briefly touch on the MCU and their anti-Semitic tendencies. Remember when we learned that Wanda and Pietro Maximoff were going to be in Age of Ultron? Remember that Magneto is their father, making them half Jewish and therefore the children of a Holocaust survivor, and also that their mother is Romani? I know that Marvel couldn't claim that Magneto was their father because of Fox, facts, but this whole magic is just unexplained science theme that the MCU has going on left them in a bit of a corner. How do you explain mutants in a non-mutant universe? Otherwise, how do you get around using the term mutant because it's illegal for you to do so because Fox owns the copyright to the term? Apparently you explain mutants by stripping them of their inherent power, changing their lineage entirely, and, wait for it, making them Nazi sympathizers. Or at the very least, sending them to a neo-Nazi organization to obtain their powers because science. I have a really big issue with this because it wouldn't have been that hard to do just about anything else with Wanda and Pietro's origin in the MCU. If they were gonna get their powers from an Infinity Stone anyway, why couldn't they have just found one that they didn't know how to control or use, and that could have been the conflict of Age of Ultron, or at least one of them? Why not empower them, rather than make them so desperate for revenge that they go to a literal Nazi organization going against their heritage, except for anti-Semitic purposes? I think I have expended myself on this topic. Thank you so much for watching this video. In the comments below, let me know what your thoughts are on Say No to Hydra Cap. Also in the description box, please check out a link to a petition to end this disgusting storyline, because it should never have been made. Like this video if you think Nick Spencer is a piece of anti-Semitic trash that has no idea what he's doing, or, you know, if you just like me enough to like the video. Stick around for more Princess and the Scrivener videos. The next video that I do will be a part 2 in this Captain America series that I'm doing. It will also be the last of the 2. See you next week.